This have now become my favorite spot to actually film. So welcome back to another video. I'm so happy you're back with me. In today's video, I'll be talking about meditation and what does it mean to meditate and how meditation has helped transform my life from, someone being anxious, someone being stuck in her head, someone being very negative. Yes, I had moments where I was positive with myself, but it wasn't always like that. There were times where I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was saying. I didn't know the people I was connecting to, and it almost felt like a loss. Every time that I tried to put my foot into something, I just quit and, I let the anxiety take over. I let my thoughts take over. I let it almost like consume me. And to know how I transformed and how you can transform if you're also in this journey of exploring yourself and knowing yourself and understanding kind of where those anxious, where does the anxiety come from and how is it really affecting us in so many different ways, right? So first of all, when we meditate, it's not about sitting in a cross-legged seat and having to to have a specific environment. Yes, I encourage you to have a specific environment you can sit at, but for most of the time it doesn't really have to be a specific place. It can be literally on your bed, which I don't recommend, because anytime that I sit and meditate on the bed, I'm just getting this feeling of sleepiness and tiredness, and I just fall asleep during my meditation. So that's not quite not smart to begin with. So you can meditate on bed, you can meditate just maybe sitting on your chair, maybe at your front desk you're working, any environment that is suitable and that is quiet for you to go inwards. So let me just take you a little bit back to before I used to meditate, before that I got into this journey, that before, I started sharing my story and, who I am. So back in 2020, or even before that, I, was anxious. I couldn't meditate. I couldn't really sit with myself. So one thing that really stood out was that I love to write, and writing was kind of how I healed myself, how I had this self-awareness, I had this understanding of myself. And to be frank, there was this feeling of weirdness, feeling of who am I, what am I doing here, what's my purpose. I wasn't really worried about where I'm gonna become or what I'm gonna become or where will I be in life, but I was more so worried about my anxiousness and how can I get rid of it. My only concern and my problem was I'm anxious, and how can I talk to people, how can I be magnetic, how can I be confident. And I just felt like this battle between the parts of me that I didn't like and the battle between who I'm here for, what my purpose is. And I became this kind of self discovery, this journey of understanding who I am, understanding people. Why was I anxious? Why couldn't I just be fully releasing and being myself? What was the problem there? And the answer to all this was that I was insecure, that I was chaotic inside. I didn't feel secure with people. I didn't trust with people. Had some issues with trust, issues with confidence, and couldn't even look myself in the mirror to see what I love, to even ask myself these questions. It was so triggering. And from that point on, I just wanted to explore. I just wanted to... There was this pivotal moment for me that I just wanted to live a better life, to live a more healthier life, more conscious life, not living every single day like a, Groundhog moment where It's just every single day, the same thoughts, the same feelings, and, you know, going into the cycle of depression. And it wasn't truly connected to what I wanted, because first of all, I didn't know who I am. So it really begun from who am I, to then answering these questions was, I'm Sarah, I love coffee, I love hanging out with people. So there were things that I subconsciously loved, but because my insecurity and the way that I felt about myself held me back, I just stopped myself completely, and I just made this, you know, really bad and stupid, I would say, beliefs about who I am because of how I felt about myself. So sometimes I would walk into a room and I would make up this belief that, oh, everybody hates me, and who's gonna like me anyways, and this thought of, you know, nobody cares, and who are you, and, you know, these different things about myself that were not true, but it was coming from my belief. So then, to explore more of that, I had to challenge what that meant. I had to challenge, why was I feeling that way? What was so difficult about asking myself important questions? What was so difficult about maybe approaching people or asking people or just socializing? And there were, you know, multiple jobs in my life I had to get into to make me uncomfortable, and they were jobs that got me to step outside my comfort zone. So I can say that life just put me in places to challenge me. It put me in places where I had to really grow, I had to really expand, I had to really understand myself, I had to really become conscious, I had to really become aware. And if it wasn't for all of that, I think life would have become so different, and I wouldn't really share what I'm sharing with you, because it was in a completely different place. The place that I was in before was, I'm insecure, can't talk to people, can't even look at the camera, so what's the point? So then fast forward that, during meditation and diving deep into myself, I came to a conclusion that I can change this, that it's really all possible, that it's really all, you know, is going subconsciously, and I was operating from my traumas, from things that I believed and what people said, and it wasn't truly a life. And that state of hopelessness, that state of depression, that state of, oh, what's this life about? And why am I suffering? It was from that state that I discovered meditation. And I just got more and more into it. I got this crazy ability to feel into myself, to tap into my intuition. And all of those were really gifts that I'm so grateful to have discovered, even if it wasn't understood by people, even if it wasn't understood by maybe family, maybe it wasn't understood by friends. But I think those are the times when I couldn't be more grateful, that I couldn't be more loving, that I couldn't be more excited about life again, now that these things are gone. And those journeys too, you're going to have rebirth, right? You're going to have times when parts of you do come back, when you are challenged by a thought, but you don't let that control you. You reach to a state of liberation when these thoughts no longer control who you are. They no longer take over. They no longer get you into the state of, it's my fault, or everyone is, you know, everyone hates me, or just all those beliefs that exist that you would only understand when you explore it, when you ask them certain questions. So when you say, where is it coming from? Why did I believe this about myself? And you will get to explore all parts of you in such a beautiful way, where it only becomes a matter for you, not to anyone else. So people wouldn't really see that. Like, I thought there was an insect or something. Thought I heard something. Well, perks of being in nature is that you're just grounded and you can expect anything to jump at you. Just kidding, it shouldn't be that bad. So you get to explore these things and you get to understand more of yourself. And the most difficult part, I would say, about this journey is that you're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like it, but it gets easier with time, that's for sure. Like, I would really say that to you, that it gets easier with time. You just have to give yourself, patience and space, and have compassion with yourself, that regardless of what happens, regardless of what you're going through, there's going to be light at the end. It was getting a bit sunny, so I had to shift the camera. And so so during those moments, during those conversations, you're going to ask a lot of questions, and you're going to not like the answers, and not like the responses, and not like just how you're being, but the matter of fact that you're actually trying. And if you are trying this moment every way and every single thing possible to get you to a better state, to live a better life, to live a more healthier life. And that starts with so many things, with your habits, with what you eat, and just celebrating every single thing that you achieve, every single thing that if once was a hustle, now it becomes something that you're consistent with. So don't underestimate how far you'll come, or just how you're going to evolve in this journey. And you're gonna have setbacks, you're gonna have moments where you don't want to do the work, where nothing makes sense, like there's no logic to what is happening, but it's more like an intuitive feeling that I am walking the right path. So I invite you to trust that, and it gets easier with time. But if you're just starting out this journey of growth, you realize that those little things, like the materialistic things, don't really matter. They don't have so much value. And the only way that something becomes of value to you is that when you start prioritizing it. If your health is declining and you're not bringing your attention towards it, guess what? It's not going to work. And your health is going to not be great. Maybe if you want to cut down sugar and you can't do that, it's really starting with steps of what do I want to change in my life at this moment right here. If it was beliefs, how can I start with that? How can I maybe begin more stillness? How can I invite more space into my life? So I invite you to start with meditation. Meditation just grounds you in ways that you wouldn't have even imagined. And it's not just about closing your eyes and breathing into it, which is so profound, but one of the ways to actually go into it is to, ask yourself some of the certain questions, which is, I am doing this for a reason, and it is of value to me. It is of, it is of importance to me. So if something is important enough, what action would you take? What would you do differently? And when you ask the question here, what can I do differently? That's when your life will begin to change. Trust me, it will. That's when you start to think of ways to look for solutions. Look for solutions that suffering doesn't have to be the answer, that it doesn't have to continue that way, but you got to decide what is important to you right now. What do you want to change? Why do you want to change it? What's the motive behind it? So these things all matter if we put it in kind of in one bowl and ask ourselves, is it even important enough for us? Because if it's important to someone else, it's not going to matter as much. But if I am committed to my, for example, my own personal journey, when I was committed to getting out of depression and getting out of the cycle of who am I knew there was something better. And it's during that moment in meditation when I was receiving a lot of data about where my life can be and how much it can change when I start to meditate, when I start to give myself this space to explore. Who am I? What do I love? It's really starting from different questions, but these questions are really so simple but life-changing, because we get to ask, what is important? What do I like? What do I not like? And when we ask what I don't like and what I like, we are exploring ourselves. That's a journey of self-exploration. And so when someone comes up to me now and is like, who am I? I don't know myself. I don't know what I like. Well, my first question to them is, what do you like? What is important to you? What are your values in life? What excites you in life? What are some things you're proud of in your life? When you look at it, it's so simple. Like, what do I like? What do I not like? It's just like a question that anyone really asks. But in that question of itself, you're gonna know so much about yourself, more than you think. And I invite you to start there if you're lost and if you don't know really who you are and where you want to be in life. It's just these simple questions that can really stir up but conversations that is going to be of value to you. So you can start with like 5 to 10 minutes of meditation. It doesn't have to be that you will do 1 hour a day, right? So start with 5 minutes. Can you meditate for 5 minutes? Can you start with a bit of stillness when you first wake up? Don't pick up your phone. Don't, rush to somewhere real quick. I personally don't like to be rushed when I wake up. I like to have moments of stillness and that moments, silence by myself. So begin there and see how your life will change, how you're going to evolve, and all the things that you're going to receive during those meditations, during those moments of stillness. So it's not just about I'm meditating, but I am carving this time for myself right now to go inwards, because I feel lost. So instead of calling a friend, instead of looking outside, like, give me the answers, no, I'm going to stop and look within. What is happening here? How can I ground myself? So use it as a grounding practice. And these little tips you can use to start, to begin to change where you are right now, to change your situation, because there's always something better for you out there if you trust so. And this is what I do for all my clients that come and work with me. We start working on our beliefs and their confidence and developing that inner peace within, because at the end, all that we're after is freedom. All that we're after is liberating ourselves from our mind, from our thoughts that keep us stuck where we are. So if you want to dive deep, put a link in the description so you can check it out. It's just going to be a consultation call. There will be different questions you're gonna answer before our call, so I know that you're qualified, so I know that we are a good fit, and to start this journey, because honestly, I've never been more excited to start this journey and to share kind of my insights and to share my work with people, because I know how impactful it is, and I know how I transformed my life just by going inwards, meditating, and different practices that I do every single day consistently, so I am on track. But we all have our days where we fall off, where we are maybe not doing our routines, but it will evolve, and it's all about coming back. It's all about coming back to self and inquiring. So with that, my loves, thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video.